Okay, I'm going to demonstrate using the MCBuzzer application, which might be used in a MATHCOUNTS Countdown Round. I'm here on the GitHub page. You can see that we're in the Code tab. I'll go to Releases, Latest Release, and I want to pull down something to use, such as the application compiled for Windows using PyInstaller. This should just run. I'll save the file. Does not require administrative privileges to install or run. Okay, the first thing we want to do is get set up to execute this program, and you can see that it contains a binary tree for elimination rounds, and it has up to 16. There's 8 contests on the left, descending down to 2 final contests, one for a third place and one for the top. The first thing we want to do to get set up is set up the buzzer. I'm going to go ahead and set the keys on these buzzers act like a keyboard input. So I'll say contestant A has key A and contestant B has key B. Typically I would position these so contestant A is on the left of the auditorium and contestant B on the right. We want to set the time too. Conventional timing, 45 seconds to answer the question, and once somebody buzzes in, they have 3 seconds to give an answer. Designed to push students to answer immediately after they have it. I'm going to shorten these up for demonstration purposes. Alright, the font size we'll get to in a minute, but this allows you to fit on the screen. If you're dealing with a 600 by 800 pixel projector, common in projection environments, or something much larger like 4K, the main way to control the size is through the font size. I won't bother to do that until I have some text loaded in. I also can enter contestant lists and update the tree, but before I do that I'm going to save this file, and it's a pickle, so I'm just going to give it a name for the pickle that's something simple like contest, and I'll be able to load from that in the future in the unlikely event that something goes wrong. To enter contestants, I bring up the contestant list. You'll see that it uses a student's name and a school. At the present, school is not used for any part of the display, so you frankly can leave that blank. I'm going to leave that blank in this demonstration simply because it takes a while to enter. So I'll just start loading these in. Tom, Susan. I'll accept and initialize, and I'll update the tree. And what we see is that the pairs have been randomized and placed into this. On this particular display I have a lot of room, so I'm going to increase the size of things because even our long name, Demosthenes, is not long enough to fully realize to make best use of the display. So it looks like I want to probably go to about that size, and that helps things be a little more readable from the back of the room. Okay, we are again about ready to execute this. I'll hit save. In fact, it should auto-save, but in this case I want to be able to resume from a known starting point. Because I hit save, it stores it in the same file. So let's suppose that Fred and Curmudgeon is our first contest. I will typically work from top to bottom at each row, and then from top to bottom for each column moving down, except at the end where I'll do the third place last. So in this case, I want these guys who are Fred and Curmudgeon are sitting at the front table, and I want them to test their buzzers first. So we're asking Fred. Remember, Fred's on the left, and we'll say he's A. So he hits A, and it advances to asking Curmudgeon to test his buzzer. They're both okay, so we know their buzzers are working and their questions will be valid. I'll start the timer, and let's suppose that Fred buzzes in. Ooh, Fred timed out. Incorrect. Sorry, Fred. We had a few seconds left, and Curmudgeon failed to do it. Nobody got the answer correct this time. So we'll reset the timer, we'll restart, and again, Fred answers the question. Ooh, correct. You'll notice Fred's score advances. We'll start it one more time, and we'll give Fred the win again. Finish the round, and it declares Fred the winner at 2 points versus Curmudgeon 0 points, and we get Fred showing up in this box here. As I work down the list, you notice Fred won here, so Fred shows up here. I'm going to manually do this to speed us through this. The same basic process exists for each step. I generally will do a test of the buzzers. When their buzzers are confirmed, I'd like to start the time. They answer the question. If they need to, we reset multiple questions. Sometimes there's no positive answers. And if I need to manually override, I can set the score so that Lucy wins. And I'm going to do that manually now just to speed through this. You'll notice that Larry and Ocelot placed second, so they're going to be competing for third place, where Fred and Tom are competing for first place in the elimination. I'll do the third place first, so that we are sort of creating the rank from third, second, and first place. Same exact thing we normally do. We'll test our buzzers. We'll start the time. Larry will buzz in this case. We'll say correct. We'll finish the round, and Larry's the winner. So now third place is declared by Larry having won this. We'll move on to the final placement and Fred versus Tom, the ultimate showdown. Again, I would normally test the buzzer and execute that. We'll make Tom the winner. That's how you use it. You can save this. In the event something crashes, you can open the pickle that you saved to get the same data back. You can update the contestant list. Generally wouldn't do this after building this, but I could go back in and edit that. Okay, that's all there is to it.